there from him. I mean, he hadn't picked up the Battle Fury just yet. I think it was almost available on the courier. No, never mind, about 600 gold away. And with that as well, Puppey was just sitting mid, getting his level 6. Now the Hand of God's available, and now maybe you look to make that aggressive movement with the Aegis, with the Diffusal Blade, I believe, coming out for Crystallis. And they've even got the Mass Serpent Wards back up again.
This is... all the timings are aligning here for Secret. Like, you are ready to go. A Nyx Assassin is very weak into a 5-man. You know that the Troll Warlord is going to have some difficulties with getting involved as well. Just trying to see what Secret, how they want to set themselves up. If they're just going to brute force down mid, or if they feel like they need a pick-off before they can maybe start to put some damage into the tower.
Yeah, obviously it's not ideal for Yatoro to die on the bottom side, but I can see why they were doing it. You know, he knows that that timing was coming very shortly, so they wanted to make sure that every single rotation would be completely obvious, right? So if the lane's pushing in underneath the tower and they're not showing on the map, something's up. So he causes his death, slows down that Battle Fury timing. It does mean that they still didn't take a tower off the back of that. It's what Secret do in the next couple of minutes that's going to determine the outcome of this game, I think.
It's like they were just waiting for the BKB on resolution. Now starting to be delivered on the courier.
And you've got the Siege
Level 10
Crit mid
as well.
to play around that. Mira, he's going to do his best maybe to try and shove this one out. Not wanting to commit the Impale, of course, in case a team fight breaks out, but just pulling the wave underneath the tower, making sure that the Siege Creep is going to get hit down by the tower as opposed to being protected. Slow invade coming from Secret, just slowly taking a bit more of the map control away from Team Spirit. They can still look to play around that Siege Creep. I wonder if Zayat is going to look to just commit the Mass Serpent Ward super early on into this, or if they feel like they can take the Tier 1 tower because of how strong they've hit their timings.
They're going to jump on Miro. Toronto Tokyo's off the right side, ready to provide some assistance, but yeah, no, you're not going to look to enter the fire as soon as it starts like that. So Secret get a kill into an objective, and now they're going to look to try and occupy some of the jungle.
If they could catch Collapse, that'd be a big kill, but he's playing underneath his vision, and he's got the BKB as well if he wanted to make a bit more of an aggressive jump. Might just be looking to wait for Mira to be back up online.
Puppey, Collapse going to move on forward. Jumping back, respecting the threat of Crystallis. Both sides will be able to clean up the Observer Wards. Crystallis still sticking around, but...
Spirit are happy with this. You know, it's a heavy rotation. They were forced to use the Mass Serpent Wards because they weren't confident in being able to take the Tier 1 tower without it. Means that you're still able to defend the Tier 2. You can have more space to farm on Yatoro. He's got the Battle Fury and he's going into that BKB, and you certainly feel a lot more strong once you've got that to play with.
Collapse might be in trouble top. He's going to be quick on the fingers, but Zayat still gets the BKB off, and Collapse going to turn it around. Wants the kill onto the Shadow Shaman, instead get the deny, now the damage. Oh my, Crystallis just rips apart, sinking the claws deeper into the Doom. And that is big now. An ultimate use, BKB as well. You can get more out of the map if you're Secret.
Yeah, they're going to try and do a little bit of a push onto the top side, but again, Shadow Shaman, deny, great. Don't have the Mass Serpent Wards anyway, but you're still forced to TP back, so they don't actually get too much out of this top side of the map. They're going to deal a little bit of damage into it, but no glyph being used, just forces, again, Team Secret back to be playing a little bit more defensive. They've got some timings coming up, I suppose, with the Sange coming through from the Primal Beast. I would assume he's going to go into the Halberd this time around against the Troll Warlord, as opposed to the Kaya Sange.
Oh man, Nyx Assassin again, what a hero, but really it's the player that makes it shine. Pops the smoke from Zayat and Crystallis.
Yoinks the haste, maybe. Yeah, would love to give it over to Toronto Tokyo, but if you could just be this speedy little roaming Observer Ward, even better. He's so close to his own Blink Dagger as well, just to set up for a few of these team fights. This could be huge.
See if they want to try and... Do you feel like you want to force it if you're Spirit now? Knowing the Aegis is down and you just got some of your own items?
Maybe now that you've got the Kaya on Toronto Tokyo, you're feeling confident enough. I mean, you'll have Bloodstone Kaya, which is a pretty big spike. You've got the Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin. You've got Doom with the BKB available once again. So, yeah, they're feeling confident enough to be able to make this push forward. But I like Secret. I like the fact that they've taken this Tier 2 tower away. It means that they can occupy the jungle. Again, shrink the amount of space that Yatoro has to be able to farm. And enables them to have that extra control for the second Roshan, especially with an Ursa draft drive. We know how important it is for him to be able to claim that free Aghanim Shard for himself.
Yep. Very, very important for him to have that extra little survivability.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See how both sides are able to get themselves set up here for that next fight that's eventually going to occur. I feel like Spirit, the big reason if they're going to come out on top depends on Collapse and who he can use his ultimate on. Who do you feel like is that prime target? Who does he need to focus down in these fights with the Doom?
Depends who he makes the initiation onto. I feel like as long as you could lock out, I would probably say the Primal Beast, to be honest, before he's able to use the BKB, then you're just a slow right-clicker at that stage, and then you just don't need to worry about him at all. You can pop your own BKB, you can run at the Shadow Shaman, and look to take him out with just some of your right-click damage and a lot of the other tools that you have at your disposal.
Bottom lane Collapse.
No Basher
Some
yet,
trouble.
but
We'll stomp into the BKB.
they use the BKB for it, though. Not going to be too happy about that on Spirit, and maybe that opens up the opportunity for Secret to make their own move. DD picked
Another
up.
window now for them.
Yep, DD, Echo Saber. Now Nisha becomes a little bit more of a team threat. It's this roller coaster constantly, right? Going back and forth with who's strong at what period, around what timings. Team Spirit, they really do feel like they need to play around these BKBs quite heavily and just, again, make more time for Yatoro to be able to pick up his. He's only about 700 gold away, but there's not really too many camps for him to be able to farm, and he knows that without Doom having that BKB for himself, he has to play a little bit more defensively, which means that Yatoro doesn't have the freedom to farm. He's not in this jungle, he's just off inside the tree line as Secret going for the next pick off to lead into a tower with the Mass Serpent Wards.
They want to force the issue here. A kill into an objective, getting some map control potentially with the Roche spawning shortly as well.
They've read it.
Have a lot.
They've read it on Spirit. They're grouping up together at the top of these stairs, making sure to pick up a bunch of these kills. Miposhka as well. Look at this. He's even stacking inside of the Radiant jungle. It's going to be under vision, though, so I wonder if that's going to get scouted out and have a response to it by Team Secret. You're not quite at the stage yet where you might be looking to go into the Roche pit, although actually it's a 2-second respawn time. This is going to fit Secret entirely as they make that
They're
rotation
keeping
back.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nisha. So we get onto the postcard. A couple of members of Spirit are nearby. They actually want to take the team fight.
Alive?
Mira's going to jump in with a fall from Victoria. They need a way to be able to cancel the shackles. Collapse going to try and target down Crystal at the moment. The Doom being applied to the Ursa. They've got the form damage thanks to Toronto Tokyo leaning to the middle of the fight as well, but it's not enough as Resolution
locked onto
now
Nisha.
looks to hit back with the Pulverize. The damage instantly negated thanks to Mira's spike carapace. So Toronto Tokyo is gone unaddressed. They were trying to blow him up, but it just wasn't enough. And now Spirit can catch up to Nisha onto the left side, but Resolution, he wants to hit back and charge into the middle and dancing off to the right side. Mira's got the blink back up in a couple of seconds. They know that they can catch up to the Primal Beast.
Pretty speedy.
They'll have to... Oh, Nisha's also nearby. Beautifully done. Nisha stops the blink. Mira is still always gonna miss. Oh, Nisha, incredibly done from himself. Just enables Resolution. The only issue was if the Nyx Assassin could get on top of him, and Nisha make sure that was not the case.
I remember game 1, TI-10 Grand Final. Similar sort of thing happens with Mira. Just a little bit off with that stun coming through. Ends up giving up the first blood. This time around, it would have been a super valuable kill to be able to claim onto Rezo, who, I mean, are we surprised anymore? Top of the net worth for Secret, and really does feel like he's doing a big part of carrying this game. Miposhka survived for so long in this fight as well, just causing a little bit more emphasis to be given over onto him. It was a great Doom as well onto the Ursa, realizing that, look, you can take him down, and Crystallis isn't able to do that right-click damage that's needed to be able to not only win the team fight, but he's the one that's going to be able to go into this Roche and take it. They still feel confident enough to be able to just run on in.
Zayat has to be addressed in this next team fight. He did way too much for them in Secret.
Playing on
A
the
lot of the
wards.
control that he was able to provide, and we'll see if they will be able to do it in this fight.
I think so.
Roche going down, and Anisha's going to get the jump as well. Ooh, a lot of damage blowing up Mira, and now the second Roche, the all-important Roche given over to Crystallis.
Yep. And now it's just, yeah, you can farm, but you want to make good use out of this Aegis. You don't want this to be the farming Aegis where you can be on the enemy side of the map. Just be a little bit more greedy. Couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. That's when Crystallis really wants to make his move with that BKB timing. Combine the Mass Serpent Wards together with that, and then really look to try and close out this game. Nisha, he's getting close to the Shadow Blade as well, so he's just going to go for pickoffs to try and enable this, and they'll find one.
Poshka a little bit too late with the hook shot, and the rest of the boys, they don't want to follow up. Spirit, they're just going to look to get out, try and get the other lane shoved in. Maposh's going to dance into the tree line.
Oh. Cheeky.
Hey.
All right. Some individual plays coming through, again, causing all three cores to rotate down to the bottom side, and yeah, Rezo gives him the tip. He's like, all right, good work, man. Wasn't quite expecting that one to come through as the Arcane Rune now picked up by Nisha. They're tired of playing on their own side of the map. Maybe the call came from Puppey and saying, why are we going back there? We've got the Aegis, we've got the strength right now, and they're playing without a Doom, so let's drop the wards, let's push this tower in. Even if they pop the glyph, this tier 2's still going down. And this is actually pretty big, right? I feel like the tier 2 is still going to be under a pretty good amount of threat. And now, if you take the next team fight and win, they're not going to have that glyph for the tier 3 on the high ground.
Dire's middle tower is under
Rezo.
attack.
They see Resolution
So deep.
alone at the moment. How do they get the jump? It's going to be off the back of Collapse. Oh, hooks it off the mark. Resolution. Anti on the fingers as well with the BKB use. Let's see if this is going to mean that Spirit can take the fight.
The Puppey might use a couple of his creeps to assist with taking the tower, but just wanting to understand the situation with, where Team Spirit were positioning themselves, and yeah, there we go. BKB being used on Rezo. They feel like they can go, and they've got a pretty good observer ward to be able to catch someone out. Might just be the quick kill onto Puppey. Even Zayats as well.
That's a huge target if you can get vision of him.
Yeah, they see him.
Instead, it's going to be in the top lane because they see Nisha. Collapse and Yutori in combination
Double
together.
stun.
Going to be able to get rid of the position too. Now back down to the south as well. They found another jump on a Zayats. An incredible start to the team fight, but Spirit, they want more and they'll get it. Maposhka, 4 staffs down to the low ground, making sure that Puppey will not be able to slip on her way through the river.
Once again, they get out of this scary timing, right? You go for that probably a little bit too aggressive attempt by Rezo. He doesn't have the BKB to be able to fight just then, so he's forced to play back on his side of the map. You've only got about 2 minutes left on the Aegis, and Crystallis, he's been spending a little bit of time doing, I'm not sure what. He was very close to being able to pick up that BKB a couple of minutes ago, and he's still, what, good. He's basically got it now, but it's going to mean a lot more net worth being given over to Team Spirit. They get the kill, and while this was happening, they actually got a double stun at the same time onto both the Shadow Shaman and the Chen to enable that follow-up to happen. Just see there, Crystallis wanted to be part of that team fight. He was zoning out Toronto Tokyo, doing a pretty decent thing, but again, I feel like he fits best when he's playing in this like more off-lane style position 1, but this is a game where he needs to be the one to close it out. He needs to be in on the front lines with the rest of his team and prioritizing his own farm a little bit more. Still 4th on net worth, not terrible, but I think now that he's picked up that BKB, there's no excuse. You got to group up with the rest of the team and you got to go. Maybe they get tier 3 neutral items before they choose to do it. I feel like now's the time. All 5 of them seem to be clumped up together. They might just look to use Rezo as bait, maybe baiting someone to move down to this bottom tier 1 tower, and then look to make an aggressive move elsewhere.
And have a lot of vision to play with though on Secret. Gonna need a ward dropped as soon as the smoke
Mirror,
pops,
not
and again,
again.
Mirror's positioning is on point. Gets the blink out.
Oh,
Reads exactly where they are.
Nyx
And now
players,
they're going to
man.
look to wrap around. They've got a ward towards the triangle so they can get themselves set up. Doom on cooldown for 20 seconds though.
Puppey probably would have walked into his death there if not for the rocket coming out from Maposhka.
He might now.
Dire's
Mirror
middle
with the
tower
jump.
is under attack.
Chen phase checking. Not the easiest kill. Crystal's going to jump over as well. Even with Zayat, so Secret really
Heavy
want to take a
commitment.
deep team fight, but it's not the greatest start. As the Cogs can buy them some spaces, Resolution's going to charge down to the low ground, but collapses in with a Doom, and Yatoro's locked onto his target. They'll be able to kill off the Primal Beast, and now they're looking for more. But Nisha with a chain control, Crystallis has to follow up as well. A 1-for-1, they'll turn to try and deal with Toronto Tokyo as Crystallis once again
Oh, the
sinking his
roots.
claws deeper into the Lash Rack, but the roots from Yatoro keeping him alive, and now they'll turn it back around. But Nisha finding another
The Aegis
angle,
just
but it's not
expired.
enough. The Aegis just expired. The worst timing possible for Team Secret, as now Yatoro will reign supreme along with the other members from Spirit. What a team fight for them to take, and now they are in firm control of this game 1.
Oh, what a back and forth game. Roller coaster. Even in the middle of team fights, it's like, which way is it going to go? They made the amazing initiation through on Rezo, but no hesitation. Just dropping the Doom onto him. He wasn't able to get the uproar. Didn't provide the slow for the rest of his team, but more importantly, just didn't have the potential to have that extra armor to survive the burst coming through from the Troll Warlord. Again, Gets it onto 3, but yeah, just that instant turnaround coming. Collapse. Able to react effectively, and it's just back and forth, stun after stun, back and forth. The patience coming through, realizing that they weren't going to be able to take out the Ursa instantly. They don't give the attention over to him. They say, let's take out the crowd control first. The root, the lucky root coming through, enabling Toronto Tokyo just to get away. And there's that Aegis expiring in 3, 2, 1, and there it's gone.
Nisha tried to do it in those fights. Multiple rounds of spells being casted, but we just see once he gets stuck inside the middle, the Infernal Blade percent damage is just doing so much to him. He's got to be ever so cautious with the position. If he can dance in and out, and is ideal for them, but Spirit have a gigantic lead now, 7,000. They're going to make the attempt up top. Collapse has got some boys behind him. Let's see if he's going to be able to survive long enough, and he does indeed. At BKB in the turnaround, the Goons have shown up. No one will fall on Spirit. Everyone playing together in unison. They will make sure that Collapse lives, and his counterpart offlaner will go down.
And it's just going to become harder and harder for Team Secret. They've put themselves pretty heavily into this early-ish game. I said, are they going to finish in 30 minutes or not? They've still got tier 3 towers standing and under no threat of looking to go down. And as soon as you pick up even more of these tanky items like Toronto Tokyo, he's got the plate mail. He's going into the Shiva's Guard, going to slow down a lot of these right clicks coming through from the Tiny, who still can scale with this build that he's got. But he's going to need to get that BKB to reliably feel like he can go into the middle of a team fight and not get caught out by the likes of the Infernal Blade. The damage coming through from Toronto Tokyo, as well as Mira on point again so many times with those stuns from the Nyx Assassin.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Just seems like it has to be the perfect ebb and flow of these fights for Secret. In and out, just continue to kite them, but
Radiant's top tower.
who is that target that they have to firstly jump and try and clean off, and then maybe have the advantage?
Gotta be Collapse. Absolutely has to be. I mean, he completely locks down the effectiveness of an Ursa. Same sort of thing with the Primal Beast. So if you're able to get in onto him, he doesn't have the buyback right now. So maybe that's going to be the main priority target, but he's doing a great job shoving out this bottom lane as, again, they're making another move. They'll try and find that key pick-off with the Shadow Blade, with the double damage and the level 18, but Collapse is out. Those Spidey senses just enabling him to join the rest of his team, and maybe now they go for a smoke in exchange. Shiva's Guard freshly picked up. Arturo even with the Satanic. I mean, all these timings linking up together, and they're going to use Toronto Tokyo as bait with how tanky he is. Even just preemptively using the Bloodstone there on the wave.
Fine. Shot. Cautious. Or on the high ground as well. Smoke's gonna pop. Zayat's actually gonna jump into the middle and into his death. Nisha will fall up. They're gonna try and blow up Mira. They'll be fortunate to be able to do so. But now they've got a free angle to target down with the Ursa. Doom out, and look at the damage. Yatoro just cleans him up with ease. And it's up to Resolution to turn this back around. A Pulverize onto Yatoro with Zayat's positioning. But Spirit, they've got 3 cores nearby. They can protect the troll and look to try and clean up the remaining forces, as there will be no escape for the Primal Beast.
Does feel like it's fallen out of their hands, doesn't it? They haven't picked up the gems, so they're going to be able to maintain control over the map, keep these lanes pushed in. No buybacks right now for Team Secret. Arturo just looking to move on forward. He had the Aghanim Scepter queued up for quite some time, and I was thinking, what's he thinking about here? But I'd say the Satanic just enabling him to stay in there, lock in onto a target, and they didn't get that initial jump onto Collapse, which meant that, well, it's the Doom getting in onto Crystallis and his Ursa. He just didn't deal any damage at all in that team fight.
Are you sure? Are they going to look for a toss back? Crystal's teeping in as well. It's only Toronto Tokyo behind. This might be an opening, but
he's got the battle trance again.
Satanic get back up to full health. Fire mine, not again. It's a repeat of the last fight. Now Nisha as well. The Infernal Blade.
They might need to call it.
Just making the Tiny crumble under the damage, and that'll be all she wrote as Spirit. They withstand the early aggression, and they, in the end, will be able to take it 33 minutes in.
What a game by Collapse. They easily MVP for Mike getting away from the laning stage. A good 2,000 net worth ahead of everyone else on the team. You know, some good scouts coming through from Mirror for sure, but Collapse, God, for a good reason. Ending that one in just about the amount of time that you were expecting. Secret had this window that they needed to close the game in, and they just weren't able to accomplish it through a couple of little overextensions, a couple of uses of the BKB that didn't enable